So a while back I made a video talking about how some people use WSG as shorthand for what's good, or ASL as a shorthand for as hell, right? And I got this comment in response which reads, "Why can't y'all just say it? What's good?" And this is a little aggressive for my taste, right? A little bit combative here, but I do get this kind of sentiment a lot, right? Where we see a new, shorter thing in language, and some people wonder, why can't we just use the old, longer thing, right? The longer version isn't really hard to do, so why can't we keep doing it? And for one, you can still use the old version, it's fine. But I think one thing that might help you out here is understanding that shortening words or smashing sounds together is really just kind of what we do with language, and we do it in a lot of different ways. In fact, we see these shortenings in the comment that was left to me, right? Like, can't and y'all is both contractions, right? For cannot and you all. And we've smushed it together and just added an apostrophe when writing to let y'all know that we skipped over some sounds when doing this. But sometimes we don't skip over sounds, we just reduce them, right? Like the word to often gets reduced to just a vowel sound. So going to becomes gonna, and we have wanna, have to, finna, so on and so on. And sometimes we have a shortened version of a word and it takes a bit more of a life of its own, and it separates more from that longer parent word to the point where they're related but not really synonymous anymore, right? Like vanguard is a shortening and a smashing together of avant-garde. And while when you think about what those words mean, you can see the connection there. Avant-garde a lot of times refers to like new ideas in art, right? And vanguard is often like a person or people at like the forefront of ideas. And if you go back far enough, you'll see these things in places where you might not expect, right? Like if you take common words like ring and neck and raven and you put those in the time machine and you go back to Old English, you'll find that those words started with an H originally. And now, if you only speak English and you see a word that starts with a cluster of HR or HN, you'll probably have a hard time even pronouncing that. And I think all of those examples can help inform our thinking when we see something like ASL for as hell or WSG for what's good, which seem to focus more on the prominent sounds in the base words more so than just the letters that those words start with, like an LOL or LMAO would, right? I think we can frame these things as the same or similar type of shortening and smashing down that we've always done, but in a more digital way, right? I'm not saying that you've got to use it, right? I personally don't. If I see someone say ASL to mean as hell instead of age, sex, location, or American Sign Language, I pretty much assume that they're under 25 years old, right? It's just a different generation to me, but I don't have to get mad at it. I don't have to pretend like I don't understand it, right? I can just appreciate it, right? It's an innovation using the technology of today, but also using some tricks we've had in our bag for a while.